Hello, and welcome to the Irish Guys podcast. What are you laughing for?
I didn't laugh. I didn't laugh.
The people are making fun of how I say hello now, apparently, so this is a thing. Welcome.
How you doing, Dave?
Hi, how's it going, fellas?
It's going pretty good.
Going good.
Just out of work. If everybody subscribes, likes and comments, it might get us enough money that I can get out of work. What a life that would be.
What a life that would be, Christopher.
Poor Dave had a horrible horrible day today. You had a 3-hour shift, didn't you, lad?
Oh, aye. They just cut my hours. No warning. Just no tax saying come in late. No bar.
Absolutely disgraceful.
So give us your money. Dave's got no urge. There's just the three of us tonight. Me.
Fucking Brexit.
So me, Grippy, Vesty in the house tonight. We're gonna talk a bit of basketball this evening. So just I suppose maybe like a wee word at the start about Kobe. We lost Kobe recently. It's the 7th of February now, so it's a couple of weeks back now, really.
R.I.P. the legend.
Aye.
The Mamba.
The Mamba, especially Big Kyle, our friend Kyle, he got a 24 and 8 and the wee Mamba logo there. A tattoo in his sleeve, which is cool. Kyle's a big Kobe guy, like.
Kyle's a big Kobe guy, like.
Aye, probably one of the best ever, like.
He's kind of like when I got into basketball like 5-6 years ago. Kobe was winding down, but I always knew of Kobe. But before I got into basketball big time, it was like, it was
top 3 for me. Like I think it's him, LeBron, and Jordan. Yeah, the 3 greatest ever. But we're gonna be looking a wee bit more to the future then tonight. We've done this sort of for a couple of our other podcasts. We've done it for our first NFL one, and we've done it for our football one. So we're gonna look to the future, and we've sort of took under 24, a player under 24 in each position that we think could be the sort of best at their position that's in the league already for the next sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 years, for the next decade. So this is going to be like a team of the next decade sort of thing. So we've all got a few notes done. It'll be interesting to see. We know that there's one guy that's going to be in everybody's team.
There's one guy that's always going to be.
Luka Doncic is going to be in everybody's team.
There's a spoiler alert. Luka's in everywhere here.
Luka's in everywhere. Yeah. But we've went sort of position by position. So I'm interested to see who's going where and what.
Although it's kind of tough too, because like the football one, it's a lot of predicting. Trying to predict who's going to be the best players in the next 10 years. So we could be horribly wrong or very, very correct, but sure we'll have a jab at it anyway.
We'll have a jab at it anyway. So
we're working our way up from the 1 to the 5.
We'll go around the point guards first and see who everybody's went for, and we're going to try and come to some sort of unanimous decision and make a team. So it'll be pretty friggin' quick if we all agree on every position, but I doubt it somehow.
I made a rogue shout or two, like
a wee rogue shout, Crippy.
A wee rogue shout, like
You need that. Well, does anybody want to start us off with their point guard?
Well,
go ahead, Vesty. You always dive in first.
Oh, aye.
Always dive in first.
Just get that snowball rolling,
Yeah.
There's so many good point guards.
Aye.
We thought we'd even do a few honourable mentions. Obviously, we're going to argue our own guys.
Yeah.
And then I do a list of honourable mentions at the end. And
yeah.
If it's anything like the football one, an honourable mention actually made it into our final 11.
Aye, true.
With Guendouzi. None of us had him in our team. And
anybody that's listening to this might not have a clue who Mario Guendouzi is, but I mean, if there's a pile of Americans listening to this, but we had an honourable mention that we sort of all unanimously agreed on that none of us had picked for our team.
Yeah, because we couldn't agree on the actual team, so an honourable mention had to make it in.
So, well, go ahead, Vesty, let it rip there.
So, after some debating with myself, I've decided to go for Trae Young.
Trae Young, fair enough.
I've went for Trae Young. Trae Young on the season so far is averaging 29 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and around 9 assists per game. Now, Trae's in his second year. Probably for the people that don't know that's listening, we're all part of a 10-man fantasy team. So
my team is so injured.
So I'm fully in the tank for next year.
So we've been doing it about this last 5 years, but this season before the draft started, we decided that we would make it more interesting and do a 4-player keeper league.
Dynasty League, I believe it's called.
Yeah. So basically,
I have Trae Young.
Dave has Trae Young. A few of us took different approaches. Some fellas decided to take the approach of going young and building like a dynasty, and then
I decided to go old and then Steph Curry got injured, and I thought Steph was gonna have a monster year because no Klay Thompson and all the rest. So I was thinking Steph's gonna have a blinder. Steph's out for the season. So then I decided to blow it up and go in the tank.
It's really interesting, like, but yeah, a lot of the stuff we do in fantasy has a lot of it obviously makes the watching the NBA a lot more interesting, and like Trae Young, Dave, you traded for Trae Young, haven't you? I believe.
Oh, Trae Young's in.
So
I get the next step.
That's a good move. So Trae Young, just a wee bit about him. He was a first rounder, a 5th pick in the 2018 draft.
Yeah.
He was picked by Dallas and then traded to the Hawks, which was for the Luka Doncic.
Do you know what's really like? That's a weird one because like, are you happy? Are you unhappy?
Exactly.
You've seen what Luka's done, but Trae's looked real good too.
It's a bittersweet one, isn't it?
It's a wee bit strange. You usually like, it's not like obviously when we're talking about Kobe, it wasn't like the Kobe to the Hornets trade, sort of thing. Like he was drafted by, not Kobe to the Hornets. Kobe was drafted by the Hornets and then sent to LA. So like they obviously get done by that, but it's not that there. You have a good player in Trae Young.
Oh yeah.
But you give up Luka Doncic, you might be like Mount Rushmore bets when it's all said and done.
Luka Doncic is different gravy, like.
Yes,
So he was in the NCAA. He was a scoring and assist leader back in 2018.
Can I just jump in? I went for Trae Young too.
I told you.
Off air, me and Bessie sort of thought we might have a few players that are similar here.
I have not went for Trae Young.
Okay, well, do you want to? Finish your case. You can make your case for Trae Young, Bessie, and then we'll jump to you, Kirby, because there's not much point in me making a second case for Trae Young.
He's just very exciting to watch. I mean, and I think he's going to be huge. Like in the second year he's just shown so far that he's really, really ahead of his time almost. He's putting up serious points per game. I know Atlanta aren't sitting too well in the standings. I think they're second from bottom in the East. So
a lot of good young players, Kevin Huerter and
John Collins, and now they've got Clint Capella. So like whether you see that as like a big three, I don't know. But in terms of maybe going forward, they have a lot of nice players to work with, and Collins and particularly Trae Young.
I like Trae. He's got good range. He's got NBA range. A lot of people come in shooting threes out of the NCAA, and their threes are a wee bit hit and miss to start off. But he's been good from three. He's got good, like he's Steph Curry range or whatever. But and he's surprisingly good at the rim too. Like he gets in. He's very creative. His passing's very good too. He's he's a very creative passer, and he gets into the lane quite well for him. Like he is sort of a wee bit like Steph Curry, that you kind of he's slender and small, and you usually think that them sort of players going to the hoop can kind of get bullied a little bit, and he has had a few wee niggling injuries and things like that. Like in my fantasy team he's day to day every other day, but he's surprisingly good around the rim as well too.
I seen there was a play where he's playing against the Spurs, and he faked LaMarcus Aldridge twice, and then he just gave like a no-look pass to the inside, and for a lovely assist. He's really, really good.
He is good. I like his range from three, which is a big thing in the NBA. Obviously now he's shooting it at a 37% clip for the season, which isn't brilliant, but it's went up from 35, and it's 35 for his career, 37. So I think he averaged 33 obviously his first year or something.
Aye.
But
that's what you need to see too from a young player, like improvement year on year. Like
Another thing is I always appreciate when somebody can go to the line and make their free throws, and he's shooting 85% from the line. Like all of us are gonna end up talking about Luka Doncic at some point, but Luka's not a great free throw shooter.
Oh no, his free throws aren't that great at all. What's he, 76%
to have down here? So, which is, it's okay, it's not bad, but it's weird for a man that's got such range, step back threes and stuff but Trae Young's got good free throw percentage as well.
I had a feeling
he's quite intelligent too, Trae Young. Like
he runs the offense quite well too. He's just not like a pure scorer. He's creative with his passing and stuff too. He's like a wee bit of a Steve Nash, Steph Curry hybrid type thing.
He's one of them. I can see him growing into being a top player.
Yeah,
he maybe not quite yet, but
no, probably not. But all these guys, sort of maybe bar Luka, have all got a wee bit of room to develop and all that too. What about you, Crippy?
I went Ben Simmons.
Oh, you went Ben Simmons? Aye, fair enough. Ben's young, isn't he?
Ben Simmons, 23, so he is, and Ben Simmons he's a great player. He's a triple-double machine, the man's. He's one of the best in transition in the league. Like he's like a young LeBron. Like you can't stop him. Like once he drives, he's just unstoppable. Like He's got great speed, great power. He is like a young LeBron. Like he's
like a young LeBron.
He's fantastic. Like he's also a great defender. He can defend anyone from the 1 to the 4 and even some 5s. Like he literally anyone in the court, like anyone he comes up against, he can defend them. Like
PJ Tucker's playing the 5 for Houston nowadays, so I mean, like
they've went so small.
Ben Simmons can defend.
Simmons is like LeBron in a way that he could probably play any position in the court and be class.
Totally
like
fine,
yeah.
His passing's very good. Like I mean,
he's a great passer of the ball. Like fantastic.
For a man that big, that sort of point forward, you know, he's very creative with his passing too. Like it's not just, you know, using his size to get open. He is creative with his passing. You know, shuffles into the lane and then drop offs, picking the shooter out in the open corner and stuff like that.
He terrifies teams in the defense. Like I've seen a lot of like him being doubled up on and things. Like you know, they just.
There's only one weakness, like.
It's the 3-point ball. It's a 3-point.
His jump shot definitely needs some work now. I'm not gonna say anything. But you know, he's 23. He's got room to grow. You know, in the next couple of years that could come. Like, and if he does become a great jump shooter as well, he's literally the all-round player. Like, he's fantastic. Like, I've got a few of his stats down here. He's averaging 17.6 points per game.
Yep.
He's 58% from the field. 8 rebounds and 8.2 assists a game. Like, so he is really a triple-double machine across the board. His stats are all real good. Like,
that is really good. Like, I mean, if he adds, well, he started to shoot the ball a bit more frequently this year than he had been.
Yeah,
you know, he is not.
Like he's improving at that. Like, you know, he still needs some work. Like, but you know, he's so good. Like his passing and his just ability to run by anyone, like, and over anyone.
Yeah, the what do you call it? The sort of thing last year.
And he's got real good handles for a big man. Like his handles are ridiculous.
He's got good speed too. Coming down,
he's so fast.
He's damn good. But he last year there was a lot of defenders standing off him, and that obviously it, you know, collapses the defense, so there's less room to go or less room to play in, and then he then you can't, you know, you can't off the dribble, you can't create space then because the defense has collapsed. You can't create space to open up the passing lanes and get wide open shooters. It is that sort of, you know, collapse the defense and then get open shooters, which is all about the NBA. It's either to the rim or the 3-point line these days. Like there's no mid-range game at all really. So it's, you know, collapse defenders around you and then kick to the corners or kick to the wing. But,
well, I know you both went for Trae Young, but you know, in 10 years, do you think that Trae Young's going to have a better 10 years than Ben Simmons? Because I don't.
I would disagree. I rate Ben Simmons. It's just, I don't know, Trae Young's just...
For me, the reason that I think I didn't actually want to pick Trae Young.
No, I was the same. That's the funny thing. I was the same.
Yeah. I see the type of point guard that I like. I wanted Ja Morant. I'm a big fan of Ja Morant.
I traded Morant and Burger. De-youth in my team to win this year. I'm all in for this year, boys.
No, I like my favorite type of point guard is like Ja Morant, Russell Westbrook, you know, Derrick Rose. Big Derrick Rose guy.
A real athletic,
fast point guard.
Hard to stop, like.
But
Simmons.
Well, I don't know. See, the thing is, the only reason that I would say that Trae Young maybe over the likes of Ben Simmons, and the reason that I put him in over even Ja Morant is the way the league's going, and sort of it's the 3-point shooting. It's the highest it's ever been. It's getting higher. It keeps getting higher.
Game's changing. Like.
The Houston Rockets just decided to break every record under the sun as far as 3 points attempted, 3 points made, 3 points by a single player. So it is sort of collapse the defense and shoot threes.
Although another player like that who's like real exciting to watch is De'Aaron Fox. Like he's so fast. It's actually
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox.
Well, seeing
but De'Aaron Fox is like his change of pace is so ridiculous.
Fast,
like he can go from stop to go. And
Tom's not here tonight, but
he's quicker than
Tom's favorite player. I think
he's like.
Lightning quick. He's so fast.
He could be the fastest in the league. Like
I think so. I think like it would be between him.
And he's just a joy to watch. Like he may not have his all round game, but he's another one that I considered putting him in over Trae Young. Like the two I was debating was Ben Simmons and De'Aaron Fox, and then I sort of was having a nosy at Lonzo Ball and Trae Young as well. Like, but you know. No, I do like Lonzo too. Like
I just purely went for Trae on the basis of the way the game's going. It's that get to the rim or shoot threes. Like I seen, it was sort of like a stat arc on where shots are being made from now compared to I think it was like 10 years ago. And like there was all the mid range shots. It was just a wee marker, you know, sort of the heat. It was like a heat map type thing.
Yeah.
And then it was nowadays it's literally shots at the rim and the 3-point arc, and everything in between is not there anymore. You know, really worth talking about. So that's why I think Trae Young's got the game that's closest to that. Whereas like Ja Morant, I think still could be brilliant. I think De'Aaron Fox could be brilliant too. They're two more players that I would prefer.
Yeah.
But it's just I think that
they're more fun to watch.
Yeah. More athletic. But them sort of point guards have sort of like there's been a modicum of success for them point guards, like your Russell Westbrooks, your Derrick Roses, your John Walls.
The likes of Ben Simmons, like there's not many like him.
There's not.
Like, you know, he's
LeBron now compared, but LeBron used to play the wing, obviously. So like he's kind of like what LeBron's doing now for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I really like Ben Simmons as well. It's just I think that you need to have range nowadays, or you'll be. But he does have time to work on that. Like he probably is the highest ceiling out of maybe all of them because of the fact that he can rebound.
That's my point. He can do everything already, bar his jumper. But in the next couple of years, like his jumper's already coming on a bit. Yeah. And in the next couple of years, if he adds that to his game, he'll be the full package. It's like
probably the longevity thing too. Like
plus he's a far better defender than anyone we've spoke about here. Like
that was the one thing I was going to say in Trae Young is his weakness is defense. Like.
That's.
But the one thing that I think that you can improve on is anticipation, and instead of being a sort of good defender, a lot of sort of poorer defenders have made a living kind of.
But is it easier for Trae Young to learn how to defend better, or is it easier for Ben Simmons to get his jumper down? Like,
I don't think that Trae Young can be much of a better defender because of his size and things like that. But I mean, one thing that you can do as a sort of a point guard of that size and that stature is get damn good at steals, start anticipating jump passing lanes and things like that. There, that's one thing that like point guards can do that when they're sort of being maybe abused or bullied a wee bit on defense, if they're not really good defensively, that they can improve on till bring their game further. But
my honorable mention was Fox. Like I actually wanted to have Fox ahead of Trae Young, but then I sort of came to the conclusion that I would put Trae Young ahead of him. But I love watching Fox because he's just so exciting. He's so fast. He might be the fastest player in the league.
Oh yeah.
And like, if you ever watch him, like. He can just slowly dribble and then he takes off.
His change of pace is unbelievable.
And he drives down the lane and like he's quite long when he gets to the hoop because like once he drives down to the hoop and he just extends his arm up and just lays it up and in like he's.
I love athletic point guards.
I quite like Lonzo Ball too. Like I know his jump shot's not great at all, but he's a good defender. He's a really intelligent player and like he's a good passer.
He's an old school point guard. Like,
but he has the potential to grow into like of course it's all hypothetical anyone we're talking about, but he's another one that has the potential there to be the top point guard of the decade. Like
it'll be interesting to see what his brother's like because LaMelo's meant to be the one. LaMelo's got better range, better shot, and I think he might even be coming out a wee bit taller than Lonzo if I'm not mistaken. So they're LaMelo's coming out this year, I think
so.
So it'll be interesting to see what way he comes into the league too. I've seen that LeVar's trying to get them all to the Knicks. LeVar things. But Trae Young then,
Trae Young.
Well, the stars have been outvoted. I would have said Simmons for anyone listening, To
be fair, I'd have went Ja Morant if it was my thing, but I just think the league's going that way with the 3-point ball, and I think that Ja could be good. I really he is my favourite, but
he's having such a great breakout year. Like I drafted him so late too, and he was. What a pickup he was.
What a pickup.
So,
but he's gone now.
He's gone now, Kirby.
We're on to the two at shooting guard, and I'm anticipating this to be the same as mine, Dave.
We're going to have the same roster from start to finish.
We can have the same roster here. I doubt we'll have it at the 4, but definitely the first 3 I'm thinking we will. So, Dave, at number 2, who did you go?
I went with Devin Booker.
I went with Devin Booker.
I also went with Devin Booker.
So we've got a.
Well, who wants to take the lead on Devin Booker then? Because
the next 2 positions are going to be the exact same way. So I'll take Devin Booker, Crippy, and you can take Luka because, we've all done a wee bit of explaining, so haven't we? Well, I'll do Devin because I haven't talked yet. So Devin's 6'5", he's 206, and he's 23. It seems like Devin should be older.
Yeah.
Like he's been in the league a few years now. I think it's his 4th year.
2015 draft.
He's only 23, isn't he?
Yeah, it's mental. It seems like he should be older than he is.
He's a class shooter too, boy.
He's a pure 2. He's a pure 2.
His size, class.
He's shooting 50% from the field for the season, which is class.
Yeah.
Anybody over 50% shooting from the field is unbelievable. He's 40.
Ben Simmons.
That's because Ben Simmons is all layups there.
58%. What?
The one thing that could do with a wee bit of work I've written down here is 36% on his 3-ball. So I can't, that you can't really compare it to Stephen Curry, but Steph shoots in the 40s for his career pretty much. But his 3-ball could do with a wee bit of work. But then again, I think it's sort of the fact that primary offensive weapon defenses are geared towards him, so they know that he's good from the 3 and all that. So
I get out then.
A bit of work. 4 rebounds and 5 assists. And he has 22 points a game for his career, and then he's got 27 this year. So his scoring's getting better. He's won the 3-point contest, so he can shoot the 3. He was all rookie first team, and then he had that 70-point outing against Boston.
He did.
The only thing about him though, he definitely needs to improve defensively.
I think, do you know what? I just think that somebody that's an offensive player and who's like a superstar in the league, I think when they're asked to carry a load, like a lot of players have, like Harden has been, and like LeBron.
Harden's a better defender than Booker.
I don't know. Maybe like they both.
No, he's not.
He's not a good defender. I'm not saying that, but Booker's a poor defender at the minute.
I just think that when you're asked to carry an offensive load, a lot of the time, a lot of fellas take defense off pretty much, especially in the regular season. But shoots 92% this season from the free throw line. I put down my free throw percentages tonight, boys, because I like a good man from the free throw line.
You do.
So I shooting 92, 86 for his career. So another man that can knock down his free throws. He's a pure 2 and a pure scorer. But he's been asked to do.
He's even got 6.3 assists as well.
I don't like that. I mean, I don't, and it's not that I don't like that. That's probably the wrong way to say it. I don't.
You'd rather him be more greedy, is what you're saying?
A little bit more greedy, and I just think Phoenix at the minute is an awful organization.
How do they continually not get it right?
I just don't understand. I seen something today or yesterday about getting rid of Kelly Oubre.
Aye.
And Kelly Oubre's been playing really well.
Aye.
It's like, why are you shipping Kelly Oubre? He's been a good wing for you.
It's ridiculous.
They tried this year, obviously, the Ricky Rubio experiment and tried to get him in beside Booker to be more of a playmaker and take more of the pressure off him to be a playmaker. But Ricky Rubio gives you very little as an offensive scorer, so it's the same problem again.
Ricky Rubio just does his assists. Really.
Ricky Rubio's a brilliant passer.
Oh, he's a brilliant passer. He's very smart too. He knows his limitations.
Comes from the EuroLeague, them EuroLeague ballers that can pass the ball. But I mean, just it's the same problem. They were the team that had Isaiah Thomas, Goran Dragic, and they had
Did Bledsoe
as well, all on the roster at the same time, and they have nothing to show for it.
No.
They're very poorly run at the minute, and that's the one problem that I could see maybe arising for Devin Booker over the course of this next 10 years or whatever.
If he's not making a lot of playoffs.
He hasn't made an all-star team yet, and I know the West is stacked, so it's hard, but he hasn't made an all-star team yet.
Yeah.
He's a great player, but in 10 years he'll be looking back, and I remember too, there was a period last season, was at the end of March, he scored 157 points in 3 games. And the Suns lost all 3 games. And one of them was a blowout.
That's 70-point outing. They lost.
That's it. 157 points over 3 games. They lost all 3 games, and one of them was a blowout. And you're just get out of that organization, please.
He signed that big contract too, so he mightn't be going anywhere for the foreseeable. But I mean, I just think he's a pure 2. He's a pure scorer. I don't mind that the times that he can miss shots. Kobe missed a ton of shots. Kobe missed loads of shots.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a 2 guard, that is your job. It's in the name. You're a shooting guard. You put the ball up, and he's brilliant at it. But I just reckon that the Suns are just I don't even know what the hell he's going to have to do, because the Suns do not look like they can get anything right at all. I mean, they actually have a decent young-ish core there.
DeAndre Ayton at center.
I really like Kelly Oubre. I've been liking Kelly Oubre since he was at Washington. He's just... his game, he took a wee while to develop, but he's playing now, and he's playing well.
Aye.
And then they're talking about trading him, so I don't understand what the Suns do.
Suns logic.
No.
I went for Booker as well, and I just completely agree with everything, more or less what you've said there. He is probably one of the purest scorers in the league in terms of a shooting guard. I reluctantly have Donovan Mitchell as my honourable mention.
You really like Donovan.
I love Donovan.
You do.
He's so good.
To be fair, I have Donovan Mitchell as one of my 2 honourable mentions.
Yeah.
I did 2 honourable mentions for each position.
Donovan's really good. I mean, so far this season, he's averaging 24.5 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, and 4.2 assists.
Donovan's kind of in that same
He's a
bracket.
scorer, like, but he's an elite scorer, like he's.
I don't think.
Plus, he seems to be like almost running that team at the Jazz too, like.
I mean,
the Jazz aren't that tar either. But
I reckon that he's got the same problem as Booker has. Like, well, Utah's actually a good team, so that makes a wee bit more of a difference. But they're primarily based defensively.
Yeah.
So like they have the likes of Gobert and Mike Conley's a good defender, and their defense first. Like they're sort of what that then hinders your offense, where Donovan Mitchell's keyed in on as the primary offensive scorer. And I know that you kind of have to get past that because like all good players had to get past that. Wade, Kobe, LeBron, teams are targeting you. Yeah. But if there's nobody else to sort of alleviate the pressure,
the load, like, and
the similarities between the Jazz and the Phoenix are quite similar, with having the big center and then sort of a pass first point guard. Like Mike Conley wouldn't be a major scorer either, and Mike Conley's perennially hurt at this stage. But similarities, but I just think Booker. I was watching. I can't remember. Was it Open Court? And I think it was with Booker, Embiid, Cat, and D'Angelo Russell. Maybe another shout that we probably should have put it. Oh, maybe D'Lo's maybe older than 24. What do you call it? But it was them 4 on Open Court, and Booker. There's been reports of like Booker playing guys 1-on-1 and being real old school about it, and not liking players beating him and things of that nature. So, there's plenty of love for Devin Booker.
He's
another one that if we're sort of doing honourable mentions, or Jaylen Brown, like.
Jaylen Brown's improved.
But see, he was never getting in ahead of Booker in my team, but he's a good shooter, like good rebounder, good dribbler,
good defense.
He's just not very creative, like. But
no. His defense is where he stands apart from a lot of these fellas.
Yeah.
Like, Jaylen Brown's a good defender,
but he's plenty of room to grow. Like,
he does surely. Like, his offense has improved massively this year.
Yeah.
But a hell of a good defender too. So the next one's simple enough too, I'd imagine.
This is gonna be.
I think we've all decided on Devin Booker. Then there's no real argument there.
No real argument.
And the next one. So who have you all got for small forward, fellas?
I don't have an idea. Who could it be? I wonder. Care to enlighten me, Dev?
Luka Doncic is who I've gone for anyway.
No way.
The man is a hero.
What a baller.
He is running my fantasy team, and I love him for it. Although he's injured now on the IR, it makes me sad logging in every day and seeing him there.
I think this goes out to Matty, who's a big b-ball fan as well, in our fantasy league. Has been coming at you the last month.
Oh, he's
ridiculous
offers at me flat out for Doncic, and I keep telling him I kind of want to keep Doncic, and I don't want anything to do with the perennially injured Kyrie, but it doesn't stop him offering Kyrie at every trade.
No, you keep Doncic, and like the man's so good.
Oh, a different gravy. Like,
he's just unbelievable.
It's
like he won the MVP in Europe, didn't he? Before he moved over, like at 18 years of age, he was at the time.
I actually didn't. I don't know what it was. I think he's Slovenian or Slovakian.
He's Slovenian.
Slovenian.
Yeah.
So
he's so clutch too. Like,
there's a Slovenian league there as well that he's got a pile of records in as well. But I just jotted down the EuroLeague. They won the EuroLeague at Real Madrid, and then he was the MVP also. So
and he's very clutch too. Like, if it's the last few seconds in a game and you need to throw it to someone to put it up, like, there's not many better, and he's only 20, which doesn't make any sense. Like,
I seen an interview with Mark Cuban, who's the owner of
love a bit of Mark Cuban,
the Dallas Mavericks, and he was just chatting about Luka, and they were saying to him, like, is there that pressure when you make a move of, like, when you move for a player and you think he's going to be brilliant, but there's always that chance he won't be. And he had just the biggest smug on his face, saying we knew Luka was going to be good. Like,
I don't think
he's an absolute triple-double machine. Like,
I don't think there's been anybody that's come into the league that young that has had the impact since LeBron.
No.
He's in 10 years, like, he's going to be the best player. He's going to be up there, I reckon, with the Mount Rushmore as the best players. He'll be in the Kobe, LeBron, Jordan conversation. Like,
he's gonna have, if he wins a few titles, he's gonna have a resume that's gonna be very hard to top. Like,
I
have a few of his numbers written down. Averaging 29 points a game, 46% from the field, 9.5 rebounds, and 8.7 assists. Like, that is just
I think that the only thing that Dallas do need to do...
That is a crazy stat line.
Oh, it's mental. It's absolutely insane.
Ridiculous.
You shouldn't be in your, sophomore year in the league and all that and be putting up these kind of numbers. It just shouldn't be happening.
Very few players in their prime putting up them sorts of numbers. Like.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I seen that he was the 100 career games. He had 2,000 points, 750 rebounds, and 500 assists. And the only other player to have that was Oscar Robertson, and he was Mr. Triple Double before Westbrook was Mr. Triple Double.
Luka Doncic is now Mr. Triple Double. Like, he does everything. Like
the only thing that I think is that LeBron had this issue early on in his first run in Cleveland, is that he was asked to do too much, and that then wore him out over the course of series in the playoffs. At the minute, the Mavs look like they could maybe make the playoffs this year, which is a big step for them.
Yeah.
But I think that they could, I think that they should go and get another scorer or a primary ball handler that can take the ball out of Luka's hands and give him a break.
Yeah.
I was even thinking so much for this year. I mean, it's the 7th, so the trade deadline's just passed, and I seen there today they have Seth Curry and stuff too, but more of a scorer than a ball handler. But even there today, I was sort of thinking that Isaiah Thomas just got waived by the Clippers. So Isaiah mightn't be a bad wee shout now. He's not what he used to be, and I mean he is a wee bit of a
man whose career's fallen off a cliff.
It seems like it's always hard for a guy that's that size to be good in the NBA. But I mean,
he was good in the NBA. Like at the Celtics, he was.
System, I think though. System. A lot of players look better in the Celtic system than I mean, he was damn good, but I mean,
Brad Stevens had that system where it made him look very good. Not to say that he wasn't, because he was brilliant for them a few years in Boston, but he'd been around the league before he went.
But I mean, Boston, like even if he's not a starter, I mean, it wouldn't be just bad if you think that you're going to make the playoffs to pick him up. I mean, I think his contract was $2 million. I don't even know if that carries over now as far as what way it goes, but just another person to maybe even come on and give you maybe 15-16 minutes a night, score and can handle the balls. Just somebody. They do need somebody else in there, and I think they don't have a draft pick this year because they give it up to get Kristaps, I think.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if the exciting thing is, whenever that trade happened last year, whenever Porzingis was traded to the Mavs, it was like really exciting because like we've seen how good Luka was in his rookie year. I would like to see them too becoming like a focal point. In the years to come.
Yeah.
The only worrying thing is
that's a team that would do really well with a Ricky Rubio,
Actually would.
It really would. Like,
I think we've done the Ricky Rubios, but no, they'll have JJ Barea. JJ Barea has been there for a lifetime.
He's been there for 30 years.
But
I think
another player in there, and you could, even if he's not that particularly great, but another player in there, maybe a point. I think to take the ball out of Luka's hands and give him a hand as far as ball handling, because at the minute he's doing everything, but he's doing too much, and I think that was LeBron's issue the first time around in Cleveland, and that's why he couldn't get across the line. And if they've got any issues in a very tough Western Conference, a 7-game series, he's going to be wore out. Like, so I think another player to take the ball out of his hands and a scorer at that would be of benefit to them. Like, but Luka.
Well, are there any honourable mentions anyone would like to mention?
Small forward, did they put anybody down?
I had a wee look at Zion Williamson.
Zion himself,
like he's only 20, like, but he's very mature. Like,
does anybody else have him? Does anybody have him in their team?
Nope.
Did anybody you didn't put Zion in?
Nope.
Interesting.
I have him in my fantasy team, and I absolutely love this guy. And he's played half a dozen games.
He's played 8 games.
Yeah,
Zion's unreal.
He's played half a dozen games or so, and I have him in my fantasy team.
The thing with Zion is he can play small forward, he can play 2-guard, he can play center, he can play power forward, he can play
stick him wherever you want him.
At the moment he's playing, and he's not fully fit because he does look very tired at times. He does look like he needs to be taken out every 3 or 4 minutes.
About 20 pounds.
He's a wee bit overweight slightly, but the only thing is that I didn't put him into my team at all because I just would like to see how he does over a full season. Because we've only seen a wee bit of him, and I'm not questioning his ability at all, because what I've seen so far is what I've expected and why I drafted him so highly in my fantasy team. But I would just like to see him for a full season, because there is all them rumours going around. You've got the guys that are so excited to see him and saying like he's the next LeBron, and then the other half are saying he's going to be a bust. He's just like the, he's going to break at any point, and he's going to be the biggest letdown. So the only reason I'm leaving him out is because I just want to see more time of him over preferably one season or for the remainder of this season. But He just missed out on my team slightly.
Fair enough. Who did you just go for a power forward then?
I will say, sorry, just before we do go on, my honourable mention for small forward is Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram down
he's my
too,
second honourable mention. Yeah.
He's like KD. I don't want to say he's like KD but he's just like athletically he's like KD. He's so long. Like, see, whenever like he's got good handles.
He's got good handles.
And when he dribbles with the ball and he comes down and he drives down and then he goes to the hoop, I mean, he just reaches up and that arm just comes out about 30 foot and just goes Space Jam and flushes the ball down.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great defender too. Like, you know,
he's long, like he's hard.
I think the move out of LA definitely helped him.
Plus, I was having a look at his numbers today, and I couldn't believe, like, you know, from year on year how rapidly they improved. Like, you know,
even it's sort
like,
of
every stat along the board was, you know, year on year improving.
Well, this year he's just went nuclear. Like, he's been fantastic for the Pels. Like,
yeah, he's averaging just under 25 points a game with six rebounds and 4
hasn't turned out to be a bad trade for the Pelicans shifting Anthony Davis.
It hasn't been so bad in the long run, no.
I was looking to give. I was gonna put Brandon Ingram in, but I was gonna put him in at the 4.
Aye.
And I picked somebody else. So
okay.
What about your 4s then, fellas?
So I went for a rather random one on this.
Okay, this will be good.
I went for a rather random one as well.
All right.
I knew we'd have the same first 3, but in terms of the 4 and the 5, it's going to be very different. So from the 4, I went for Domantas Sabonis.
Demo, fair enough.
Sabonis. I love this guy. Like, he's
just a great shirt, to be fair.
He's so good. He's also my fantasy team. But
I just assumed everyone was going to put Giannis in. That's why.
Well, Giannis is 24, 25, is he?
24, I think.
24. Well, if he's 24, well then we're gonna lose now, Vesty.
Well, I didn't put Giannis in. Like,
oh no,
I didn't put Giannis. He's in my honourable mentions.
I think I checked Giannis is 25. So
fair enough.
That's why I left him out.
Oh, right.
24 and under. So yeah, that's why basically.
He's 25. God damn you, Dev.
Apologies.
No, you're right.
No, he's only turned 25, so it's
fair enough.
We
put 24 in because sort of basketballers after about 33 kind of go a wee bit downhill. It becomes a wee bit more hard for them. So we said that like for the next 10 years, these fellas could be the sort of if they're 24, 23 and under, they're kind of they'll be around for the length of time, hopefully. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean Sabonis was selected in 2016. In the 2016 draft, the first round, the 16th pick by the Magic, and then he was traded on to the Oklahoma City. And I'll just say this when I'm on this point: Oklahoma City have so many good players down the years, and how they didn't end up getting to more finals or even winning the final that they were in.
How they blew a lead against Golden State's beyond me, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the players they've had, I know they've had KD, they've had Westbrook, they've had Harden, they've had, whenever he was very, very sort of in his prime, Serge Ibaka.
They had prime Serge, Stevie Adams. I love Stevie Adams. Paul George, Oladipo, and Sabonis, and obviously Oladipo and Sabonis. They've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander now. I actually wrote Shai Gilgeous down as an honourable mention for the point guards, and I forgot to say, but Shai's pretty good too. He's
pretty good.
Yeah. He's getting held back a wee bit because Chris Paul's in town, but you don't know how much longer that's going to be.
Aye, that's the thing. So yeah, he was traded obviously over to the Pacers from Oklahoma. He's made the NBA All-Star this year, his first NBA All-Star.
Yeah.
And on the season, so far, he's averaging about 18 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game. He's 6th in the league overall for rebounds. I mean, the likes of Drummond, Rudy Gobert, Giannis is ahead of him. So like he's a real good rebounder. And he's just very good. Like in round the paint, he's very good, very dominant round the glass. And he's got a good mid range as well. He's probably a little bit under the radar in terms of like because he's at the Pacers, you know.
Pacers have a nice wee core there though.
Yeah, they seem to have a nice wee core.
I think really Malcolm Brogdon's playing some deadly stuff.
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon's playing very well this year, and now they've got Oladipo back as well. I mean, one player that I'm very, very on the fence about. In fact, I'm probably more on the side of that. I think he's a bust. Is Miles Turner.
Turner, aye.
Yeah, I know a few of the boys in the fantasy league read him. Like Kyle is a big fan of Turner, but
Kyle's gonna be very upset if John Collins isn't mentioned here.
Kyle likes a bit of John Collins, but an interesting one on the my other pick, my honorable mention is Zion. Zion was going to be the power forward, but Sabonis has just been so good. In terms of fantasy league, he's putting up silly numbers. He's putting up almost triple-double numbers some nights. You know? He's a very good player, and he wouldn't be the first guy that comes to mind when you're selecting the five that we've selected, but he's so good.
No, he is very good.
He's a bit different too in that sort of way that it's not one that would possibly come to mind right away. But
okay, hit us big Crip.
I went for Jaron Jackson.
Jaron Jackson was in my honourable mentions. I was going to do Triple J.
Like he's still only 20, and he's a great player. He can space the floor. He's great at blocking shots. He can defend the perimeter. Mm-hmm. He's actually a great defender. Like
he is very good. I really like. I had Jaron Jackson. I did rate Triple J down now. Yeah.
And then Jaron Jackson Jr.
Triple J.
Just correct me if I'm wrong.
And he can score off the dribble too, which is not a lot a lot of people can.
Yeah. For a big man, he is good.
He's on the Grizzlies team, isn't he?
Grizzlies, him and Jam
Grizzlies, yeah.
The Grizzlies have a really nice young.
Can I just mention?
Oh, the Grizzlies in a few years, if they can keep that team together, that could be a scary prospect.
And then they've just got Justice Winslow in too, so another good young. Might end up being a role player the most of his career, young Justice Winslow.
Good one at that.
But a good role player.
For
Iggy there. But can I just do a quick mention on how fit the Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys are, and I'm definitely getting the Jam Morant one.
Oh yeah, that'll be pretty sweet.
They are so decent. But Jaron Jackson.
I've put a few stats down for him. He's averaging 17.6 points per game, 47.6% from the field, 4.7 rebounds, and nearly 2 blocks a game because he's an absolute
defensively is where he's
a beast defensively. He's fast, good in the dribble. He's and he's plenty of time to improve. He's not the all-rounder that he can be, but he looks like he can be.
Yeah.
And it is a predicting game that we're doing, so I think Jaron Jackson's.
What do you call it? He had a wee bit of a slow start in Memphis, but he came on pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's defensive.
He's improving, and he'll continue to keep improving.
It's defensively where he sort of makes his name. He's a good shot blocker, and he's sort of old school part. That's it. Rack the place, Christopher. Kirby's throwing his notes.
He's just throwing things around the room here all of a sudden.
Just throwing things about the place.
But good on the boards. But he was playing sort of limited minutes at the stage and all too early on in his career too. But he's definitely a good player. I like Jaron Jackson Jr. That's a nice wee core that Memphis have there.
Yeah.
And kind of.
And it could be a nice wee team of ours if we put Jaron Jackson Jr. in. What?
Well, this is
Who do you want, Dave?
See, this is the first one. This is the first bit of heavy debate that we're going to have here.
Oh, we've actually all went different.
We've all went different.
I like to see.
I think I know who you went for in this one.
I went with Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
You called that already?
Yeah, I called that already.
So my team doesn't do defense.
I've noticed.
So my team doesn't do defense. Again, Jason Tatum's probably the one thing he's lacking is.
If your 5 was an actual 5, it'd be well.
Oh, I'm going Houston Rockets ball here. I mean, I'm going to outscore you. I'm looking for 140 a night. 6'8", 210. He's 21. His field goal percentage is 45 for his career, 44 for the season. So pretty much he shoots about 45% from the field. That can be a wee bit low. I think, but he's a wee bit of a volume shooter, is Jason. He's an offensive scorer. He's sort of in the mold of a Carmelo Anthony a little bit. He's got that sort of bigger body. He can play inside at the 4, can play outside at the 3. 7 rebounds, 3 assists. So he's not brilliant on the boards, and assists for that sort of player is sort of usually where it's at there for the 3. And he's got 22 points a game this season, and again, he's 85% from the line, which I appreciate. He's been an all-star.
Be a free throw shooter for David,
you do.
I'm letting Luke off the hook a bit. He's been an all-star, and he was all-rookie first team. I like him. I think that he's in a good system. I think that Brad Stevens gets the best out of offensive players. He can hide players that are a wee bit lacking defensively, which he did with Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
No, I like him. I think he could be criticised a wee bit for lacking defensively and then being a volume shooter, but I've got a ton of volume shooters in this team, so I really am going for Daryl Morey ball here. But
I think if you're looking at more sort of all-rounder,
I might agree with you here, Christopher.
Who could turn into an all-rounder. Jaron Jackson Jr. Wait. The absolute junior.
A wee shout out to Big Kyle and John Collins.
Oh, John Collins is my honourable mention.
Yeah, him and Trae Young together.
Good 3-point shooter, good rebounder, good in the pick and roll.
That's probably the only thing that Jaron Jackson could be let down in is the NBA sort of spacing and things too, where it's a lot more stretch fours than posting up fours.
Yeah.
And Jaren Jackson maybe hasn't got the range of a lot of other players.
Yeah.
That we'll
But he's
probably
continually
mention.
improving.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, he's one of these players that the NBA is very fluid now. Obviously, like, I mean, Luka Doncic pretty much plays the point. Devin Booker pretty much plays the point.
Plus, you know, how many sort of defensive player of the years do you think Jaren Jackson's going to win before
Jaren
it's
Jackson
all done?
could win a
Right?
couple of DP
Before it's all done, said and done.
I had John Collins down as well. I had sort of Ingram in that sort of conversation too, of maybe playing the 4. Ingram and John Collins were the 2 guys that I was thinking of. John Collins was kind of had a dodgy season with his wee suspension and all.
Nah, I had John Collins, but he got pushed out.
Yeah, John Collins is a night just.
I'm happy we all went for someone different.
We were getting on too well there.
Collins is at 19 points average on the season and 10 rebounds. I really like John Collins.
He's got a wee bit more range than the likes of Jaren Jackson. Like,
yeah.
He's good. He shot, I think it was something I seen. I think Collins shot like 80. It was over 80%. No, was it 80%? What was it? That could be totally wrong. It was quite a high percentage from the corners.
Oh, right.
So he was stretching the floor quite well. I mean, at the top of the arc, you know, it was way low. But I mean, he was good from the corners, which is kind of where you
Just
where
like
you want
Vesty
from.
in a game of basketball, he has a spot.
He has a spot.
That left hand side there.
Vesty from
That's
the
where I'm
elbow.
at.
Your game so old school, Vesty. Vesty plays like Zebo.
He's the smallest big man in all of basketball. 5'6", thinks he's 6'6".
I'm a different animal when I'm playing.
So what way are we going to break the deadlock here, fellas?
Just before we break the deadlock, we are forgetting, I'll mention as well, only he's 25, Spicy P, Pascal Siakam would have been in my power forward.
Of course.
Potentially.
Vesty's
How about them Raptors, you?
Vesty's a Raptors, Big Kirby's Timberwolves, and I support everybody.
You do.
I didn't even put Wiggins in my honourable mentions because the man can only shoot.
And there
If
is,
he could do anything else, I'd be happy enough.
Well, he's off to Golden State now.
there's also, none of us have mentioned Porzingis.
Is K-Tap's under 24?
He's 24.
Lord have mercy.
Well, I suppose he definitely deserves an honourable mention as he is 24.
I just hope that man stays healthy.
Injuries is his thing, like.
Yeah,
He's so big.
That's why I've sort of avoided him here, because just with the injuries and all. But
If you're talking about who's going to be the sort of legend of the decade, if you're going to be injured most of the decade, you know.
Big Kristaps could have the highest ceiling out of anybody there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just injuries that seem to keep. I also have Kristaps on my team, and he's day to day, all day, every day too. Like, so I mean, he's a brilliant player, got range. Because of his length, he's a good defender. I mean, like, he's not a brilliant defender, but because of his length, he's a good rim protector.
7'1", 7'2".
Yeah, but injuries would probably be the thing for that man more than anything else.
Very much so.
Well,
So
we'll need
that,
a unanimous decision, please.
This could be a tricky one.
I know who I want to.
I may agree and roll with you, Big Crip, and put Triple J in because my team doesn't have any defense.
That's good.
And I might put Triple J in as a big shot blocker.
He's got to be. I think he could be the best defender of the next decade anyway. And if he can get his all-round game improving, which it is improving, you know, he's
fair
different
enough. So
gravy.
maybe a bit of Triple J then.
There we go.
You taking
got
notes
one
on
in,
what
boys.
our team is, Vesty, right?
Oh,
So we don't
he's
forget.
keeping track
Just
of
keeping
it.
track.
I've got one in, boys.
Good work, Dave.
Big Sabonis just misses out. But
I really like DeMontis. Isn't it Arvidas? Sabonis is his dad. He made a living playing in Portland, so he'd be pretty happy with how DeMontis is doing.
But yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna claim going last on this one because I've went a wee bit outside the box here for the center position.
Okay.
So
I think everybody here could probably tell who I want. You know,
possibly
judging by the team I support. And
yeah.
There was only one way I would go. Should I just kick us off then? Basically give it away.
Put us out of our misery, Griffin.
Put us out of your misery, boys. Karl Anthony Towns is the right choice. He's not only a choice, but the right choice. You know, he's 24, so he makes the deadline. Just about. But he's unreal on the offense.
He's fantastic.
He's getting better defensively too. But like, you know, no one in the league can combine his sort of shooting and his post play and his like face up moves and just his all round.
His ball handling for a man that size is fantastic.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like it's Jesus, like Kyrie meets.
it's brilliant for a big man. Like, I mean, I appreciate a bit of Karl Anthony Towns. Although, you know, some people would say he's soft, but I mean,
oh no, don't you start that on me. Towns is fantastic.
He's
I'm
brilliant.
a big fan of Joel Embiid, so you know,
he's brilliant. But I just think Karl Anthony Towns is not a good leader, and that Wolves team is horrible.
What was that there? What was the thing from Wrestling Vet or Crappy? Enzo and Cass SAWFT. Soft.
No, he's definitely not soft, boys. I'll tell you that.
Uh-huh.
He's like, you know, he is getting better defensively. Like, his individual development is on track. Like, he's getting better every year. Like, you can see the improvements in him.
Oh,
and he's still got growth left in him. Like here's a wee run through of his stats. 26.7 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and he shoots 50.7 from the field. The man is that stat line. That stat line alone is why he should be in that team.
No, he's very good. He is very good. Like,
none of this is soft carry on, boys. Karl Anthony Towns is the right choice, the only choice, and I'll not hear anything else on it.
Why hasn't he led them to the playoffs?
Yeah, that's my.
Because the Wolves are horrible. Towns isn't horrible.
I mean, in fairness, I think Jimmy Buckets has proved his point. Because
Jimmy B doesn't take no.
Jimmy B doesn't
B.
Yeah, like, I mean, he called them all out last season when he was there, and I think now it looks like there's going to be.
He beat the first stringers with the third team.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, like, now they've got like D'Lo traded in, and obviously Wiggins is away to Golden State. D'Lo is probably a good fit there because
D'Lo and Cat are big mates.
Like that'd be good for the Cat for Cat. Like, you know, maybe D'Lo takes on a bit more of a leadership role, and like, you know, I don't know what.
Wiggins isn't a good ball handler.
He's a great shooter, Wiggins, but
not a great. He's 3-and-D. Wiggins, I think, more so than anything. But I mean, not a great ball handler, not a good runner of the offense. Which Karl Anthony, like that pick and roll would be
very good.
I was a huge fan of Wiggins when he first came in, but he just never kicked on.
That pick and roll, if they pick and roll and pick and pop, because Cat can knock down the 3-ball too.
Oh, he can.
Cat offensively, like, I don't know who you to have chosen, but I can tell you now that they're not as good offensively as Karl Anthony Towns.
See, mine's a wee bit of an outside shout, but I'll let you go first, Festy, because mine's a wee bit wild.
And Dave, I know you like offense.
I like offense. I like Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, the only thing is that there's a few sort of you want to throw your book on the floor one more time, Christopher?
Dan's just racking the house here. And he's.
Sometimes you have to throw your book about.
Makes for good podcast listening. But no, what do you call it? I like Karl Anthony Towns. The only thing that I would say is Embiid gets under his skin. Buckets has said about him not being, you know, the finished article. Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see.
But he has been improving year on year. He's still improving, and then, like, you know, the finished article is closer than you think.
I mean, like, there's nothing he can't do. His total game is unbelievable.
Like, defensively he's getting better, but in offense, I don't think there's a better offensive center in the league.
Whether he can be a leader and get them. It looks like another year of the Wolves not making the playoffs. Like, so yeah. I mean, it'll be his fourth year now, and no playoffs. It's difficult, like.
Yeah.
Difficult. But go on ahead, Vesey. I'll let you hit it up first.
I love this guy. Joker. I went for Jokic.
He's my honourable mention.
That's a fair point.
I debated the two of them, but
he's got 360 degrees vision. I mean, the passes that man makes is ridiculous. I mean, he could be backing down in the post, and he just plays a pass behind his back for a guy that's away at the far corner.
I'm going to be really controversial and completely ruin our American market from the get-go here, if we ever get an American market, but European big men are better than American big men.
I know.
Not European. I should probably preface that. International big men are better than American big men. American big men are taught to block shots and dunk it. And I mean, like, some people made a living off that, like Shaq, one of the greatest of all time, maybe the best big man of all time. But there's likes of Pau Gasol. He's got 2 rings. You've got Jokic. You've got Embiid.
Yeah.
These players have got more than just they're passers, they're scorers, they can handle the ball.
They're almost
Cat's maybe the one that's closest, but
they're almost in a way sort of changing the league as well. Like,
they are changing the league a wee touch.
Yeah.
Like, Jokic is playing point centre.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, like, because the man's 7 foot, like, he shouldn't be able to do the things that he does at 7 foot, like.
Joker's 24. He was selected in the 2014 draft, a 2nd round pick, 41st by Denver. He's a 2-time NBA All-Star, 2020 All-NBA first team, and he made the NBA All-Rookie first team in 2016. I guess he's just so good, like, in terms of just his
all-round game.
He's
an absolute beast at driving to the rim. Oh my god, like, he can literally get to the rim in one step, like,
and then he collapses, and then everybody, a lot of defenders collapse around him, and then he picks a pass. The one thing that I'll hit Jokic with is that he hasn't gotten them out of supplements yet. Jokic doesn't look sort of totally in shape. I'm not going to beat him for that but I mean, Jokic, he sweats a lot.
Aye, but he's...
And, I mean, he could be in better shape.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Kobe got on Shaq a lot in that, for in his career.
Yeah.
But he could be in a wee bit better shape. Like, he looks like... I even think that about Luka, Like, Luka hasn't really... Like, you've seen the development that, like, Giannis went through from, like, being skinny and sort of ripped as he was, but very slim, till, like, really, really taking care of himself. And, like, Luka hasn't got that yet. And I think Jokic could do that too.
I know, that's a fair point. No, he's so good, and, like, he is basically a point guard playing center. The last couple of years in particular, he's really led that Denver team. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I know I've given him a wee bit of stick here, but I do love Cat. It's just that I know they're probably a better run organization in Denver, but Jokic does lead by example. He does take on a bit of responsibility.
He was top in the West last year.
Yeah.
Well, over the last couple of seasons, his jumpers improved too. Like,
oh yeah,
like
he's got range. He's got range. He can pass. He can rebound.
No, not Karl Anthony Towns levels, but
Well, here it is.
Well, yeah, he's my center pick, and I mean, I guess one honorable mention is Bam.
Bam Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo would be one honorable mention for me. And I guess DeAndre Ayton is there as well. Both very good players.
Dave have his choice first.
But yeah, sorry, Dave, I'll move on to you.
Well, I went a wee bit outside the box. A little bit outside the box. I've fully bought into... No, I haven't, but I was going to say I've fully bought into Houston ball here. But again, the way the league's going, right? So this is the point I'm going to make. So the way the league's going, it's becoming more about positionless basketball, right?
Right.
We all know this.
What sort of philosophy is this?
Right, we all know this. This is the way it's happening. PJ Tucker's now the starting center for the Houston Rockets, okay?
Okay.
So it's becoming more fluid.
Right.
Doncic is a small forward playing the point. Ben Simmons is like a forward, like a power forward's body playing the point. You've got Jokic is playing point center.
Yeah.
I don't think that I can be able to argue against these two fellas that you guys have put in, so we'll probably have to come down to this too. But I'm going to make my case anyway, right?
I'll make your case, Dave.
Right?
You might turn me. You never know.
I'll belt it up here.
Wild card.
Wild card. I went for Zion Williamson.
You went for Zion at center.
I'm going to put Zion at the center, right?
Right.
Zion's 6'6", right? Okay.
Right.
I mean, like, he's slightly bigger than PJ Tucker. He's
Same height as me, like.
He's probably he's an NBA 6'6" at air quotes. So whether he's 6'6" or not, he's 284 pounds, right, at 19 years of age.
Oh, I love the early NBA heights, like, in what role does Kevin Durant and Love the same height, like?
DeMarcus Cousins is a 7-footer and KD standing over him, but but anyway, I went for Zion Williamson. Has done absolutely nothing on the basketball court yet. He's played 8 games for the Pelicans.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable at Duke. But I think with the move towards positionless basketball. And the fact that I know we like everybody here. I think everybody's sort of bought in a wee bit of the hype to Zion Williamson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's a brilliant player, obviously.
There's no doubt in his potential. Like, we haven't seen a lot of him, but there's no doubt in his potential.
He's the biggest hype since LeBron James.
Yeah.
But he a good player and all the rest. But at 6'6", and his lack of range, probably the one thing that we'd all say about Zion Williamson is that his jump shot is maybe not where it needs to be.
Yeah,
and he's knocked down a 3 already. He's knocked down.
Oh yeah, he is very mature is he?
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely. But
he's a great athlete too.
In his 8 games, he's at 20 odd points a game and 7 odd boards.
Yeah,
the man can block shots.
He can.
For one.
You see his swat in his first game.
The man can swat the ball.
Oh, was his second
so what I want in my team is a 6'6" Zion Williamson patrolling the paint. He can body up with big fellas because of his weight and his low center of gravity at 6'6".
Mm-hmm.
So if he is marking a 7-foot Joker, I know that they say that they could shoot over him, but with a low center of gravity, what Houston is doing, they're putting PJ Tucker in there and trying to disrupt with a low center of gravity. And with him in your back at 284 pounds, it's not going to be too easy to shoot over the top. I know the length and all comes into this, but he can rebound because of his leaping ability. His leaping ability is better than anything I've ever seen. Nearly, like, I mean, he's like even better than LeBron in his prime, like better than Vince Carter. The way he just hops up and gets to ridiculous heights. So he can protect the rim because of his shot blocking. and he can rebound because of his size, physicality. Like, you see him just stripping the ball.
He's not a centre, and he's not going to play centre in this decade.
I think that they should play him centre.
Yes, but you thinking that they should does not mean that he will, and he won't.
I've also said that I know I'm not going to win this argument.
Yes, well.
I'm just stating my point that I think that Zion should play centre. I think that if the Pels going forward, they should play Zion at the centre, and then play Brandon Ingram at like the 3 or the 4 combination, whatever way you want to put it. You've likes of Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, and all that there. I think Zion should play centre.
So basically, Dave, you need to get on the phone to the Pelicans and get through to Alvin Gentry and just say, look, if you play Lonzo and Drew at the 1 and the 2, and you've got Brandon Ingram there and Josh Hart 3 and 4, then you've got Zion at 5 to bully everybody. You may have a contending team.
Well, argue with me, right? He's got the leaping ability of no one we've ever seen before. He's 6'6". He's physical. He's massive. He can play in the paint.
But just
he will live in the paint
just
anyway.
Because you think that he's not going to play centre.
See, for even Jaren Jackson, I think Jaren Jackson will end up playing something like the centre the way the league's going, because people that play the 4 that can't stretch the floor.
Zion Williams as a player, but the only reason I wouldn't put him in centre, even in the centre discussion, is because I can't see a world where he gets moved to centre this decade.
But I've been saying it for Jaren Jackson. See, even the likes of John Collins and stuff, I think the way the league's going, 4s that can't stretch, so 4s that can't shoot from the perimeter will end up playing centre because they need spacing.
Yeah. In
my opinion. But anyway, it'll probably come down to you two.
Not everyone's going to go small. Well, another honourable mention is Miles Turner, I believe. He's one of the best defenders in the league, and he's a pick and roll expert, and I do love a bit of pick and roll myself, For anyone listening, I do enjoy the wee pick and roll.
Been a wee bit of a letdown.
The same team a lot in basketball, and, we
love a bit of a letdown offensively, though. Oh, we love a pick and roll, Dave. We love a pick and roll.
Oh, he's a letdown offensively, but he can improve.
His boards per game are awful.
Good shot blocker, good rim protector, though.
But defensively, he's great. I'm not putting him in the discussion.
I know.
So do I have
he's a different honourable mention to your honourable mentions. So,
I know.
Do I have the deciding vote?
You're the deciding vote, Dave. The offensive force that is Karl Anthony Towns needs to make it into this team. You love offense, Dave. And nobody, and I mean nobody, is a better offensive centre than Karl Anthony Towns.
Except Joel Embiid, but we'll not.
Well, yes.
Just Cat hasn't got them to the playoffs. And Joker's that lovely international player, that can do a little bit of everything.
That's I'm probably gonna have to roll with you, Vesty, on this.
Oh,
sorry, Christopher.
His shooting, his ability just to face you up, his ability to post you up. No matter what you want to do, he will do it. Right.
Fair enough. But I mean,
I think that's
Jokic was one of my honourable mentions, and I debated him slightly, but then I went for Towns because I had to go Towns, and I'm very upset that you haven't backed me, Dave. But that's fine.
I can't make the statement that international big men are better than American big men and then not pick Jokic. Yeah. The only reason I'm going to pick Jokic, right? The only reason I'm going to pick Jokic over Karl Anthony Towns is Jokic has led his team to the playoffs, and not only has he led his team to the playoffs, he led his team to first in the Western Conference last year. So he was top of the division. Karl Anthony hasn't even made the playoffs yet. So that's the only. I mean, Denver's got to be a bit of a better squad too, but I mean, if you're that fella, you could do an Anthony Davis and at least scrape in at the 8th spot or something. I don't know. That's the only reason I'm going to go for Nikola Jokic.
That's fair, Dave.
That's fair.
That was swift.
Well, would you like to give us our 5 there? Just a wee recap on the 5 that we've settled with.
So to recap, we have Trae Young at point.
At
the 2, we've got Devin Booker.
Yeah.
At 3, undoubtedly, got Luka.
At
4, surprisingly, we've got Jaren Jackson.
Don't you surprisingly me.
I only put him in for defense.
We need a defender in this team, guys. Come on.
I'm not arguing because you're both digging, but Jaren Jackson ahead of Zion.
I put Zion at the centre.
None of us even put Zion in our team.
To be fair, I hadn't Zion in my team for the reason.
I'm telling you, I'm going out of this podcast, and if Zion ends up playing the centre, give me a phone call.
Is there going to be a better defensive player than Jaren Jackson Jr. in this decade? No, there's not.
It shall remain to be seen, I suppose.
But and he's improving offensively, so don't you start. And who was our centre? Well, we just went over
Joker at the centre.
Joker at the centre. I mean, that's a great team.
See if that was a 5, that would dominate the world of basketball for.
We've got cap space. That's the problem. But
Trae Young still on that rookie contract, is it?
Well, I suppose. We've
got a small window.
Put Zion at the centre. But that went swift, boys. That was quick tonight.
There's a storm brewing outside. If anyone can hear right now,
Aaron's getting battered by high winds and rain, and these two fellas are trying to get me to go on the rip tomorrow night. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Dave has to go on the drink.
Jeez.
It is.
There's wind and rain and things, and
It's Storm Kira, by the way. Piss off and let us do this podcast.
So it's about 10:30 at night here. We're in a shed, and the winds have started to bait at it here. So give us your money so we can get out of the shed.
If the electric is out now, like
we're bait.
We're bait.
Right. Don't, please God, we have another podcast. Don't start talking about the electric. But today's the 7th of February. By next week, we're going to start putting up our podcast. We're going to be on YouTube, Instagram. Dave, say all about following the socials and give likes. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So if everybody could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps the channel. And we love you guys.
And also just drop in any comments about who you'd pick at the 5 and interact.
Tell me how smart I am for putting Zion Williamson at the centre.
See what. Give some feedback.
Give us some feedback. Constructive criticism is also welcome.
Yeah.
Although it's not because you can't take it.
Oh, I can take constructive criticism.
No, I
just can't take abuse.
Give him straight up abuse, please. But that's our first NBA podcast. We'll be doing plenty more, I'd imagine, especially when it gets to playoff time and things of that nature. But we're going to start releasing stuff next week. I don't know what order we're going to be putting these out. We've pre-recorded a number of podcasts, so we're ahead of ourselves. We're going to be on Instagram at the Irish Guys Podcast. We're going to be on Twitter at the Irish Guys Podcast. We're all going to have our individual ones that I think we'll all have to create an individual page probably yet, but we're going to be there. Like, comment, subscribe, and maybe we'll still be living at that stage. There's a storm and there's noises outside, so we're panicking. Thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.
See you later. Good luck.
Goodbye, people.
Cheers.